It's only my opinion. Coffee milk.
Alright, people, welcome to the show. This is Coffee Milk. My name is Clayon. Is pride a negative thing? Well, I believe it is and it isn't. It all depends, right? So the definition of pride, conscientious of one's own dignity. It's hard to find something negative within that definition. To be conscientious of one's own dignity is amazing, right? To know your self-worth is fantastic. To be able to go after a position that you know in your heart that you can do. That takes pride, right? To see a girl in a bar and to go after her, to feel like there's something within me that would enhance her life. It takes pride. So pride is fantastic and wonderful and all that. But it can be negative if you have too much of it. Too much pride is just like too much of anything, right? I've learned that too much water can kill you. You can drown. Not just by being in the ocean, but if you drink too much water, you can thin out your whole blood, you can die. So too much of anything is bad. Too much pride is even worse. Kind of like the situation that happened, I think, like a couple of months ago, where the young lady was in a liquor store and someone offered to buy her drink, and she declined. She said she had her own money, and they ended up like beating the crap out of her. See, that's an example of a person with too much pride. They get blinded, right? They react strictly out of emotion because their pride, I feel like, is too much. It just clouds your judgment. So I think too much pride is a dangerous thing. Now, the next question you might ask is, why is too much pride so dangerous? Well, too much pride is dangerous when your response to a widow is, and I quote, "I'm going back savage in this shit, ... fuck your feelings." That's when you have too much pride, right? That's when pride gets a little too dangerous, because instead of assessing the situation and just apologizing, which would dead the situation, you threw fuel on the fire and decided that the proper response is fuck your feelings. So those words were from Meek Mills. He decided to write that in response, I believe, to what Vanessa Bryant had to say about his rap lyrics that he wrote. Now, mind you, this wasn't a song that he put out. It was a lyric, or part of a song that someone leaked. So I just want to be fair and say that, like, he didn't. It's not like he put the song out. But the thing that I am attacking is not necessarily the song, but the response to Vanessa Bryant saying this. She says, "Dear @MeekMill, I find this line to be extremely insensitive and disrespectful. Period. I am not familiar with any of your music, but I believe you can do better than this. If you are a fan, fine. There's a better way to show your admiration for my husband. This lacks respect and tact." And she's absolutely right. The line absolutely had no tact and had no respect. It was just stupid. Now, usually as an adult, when you do something stupid, and you know it, you just apologize for it. Doesn't matter what, you apologize. You were wrong. You weren't right. You apologize. Now, if you have too much pride, you go strictly to emotion. You don't assess the situation. You just attack. And sometimes people for some reason don't have the pause between my thought, thumbs, send. It's just a very quick swoop of emotion, right? Thought, phone, send. Now, I've heard a lot of people talk about this, and it sounds like this.
Well, let's go back to what you said initially. So after Vanessa tweeted that, he tweeted out, "I'm going back savage mode, F your feelings."
Yeah, but we don't know if that was necessarily
Hit
towards
Homer
that.
Simpson. Hit Homer Simpson.
Don't! Come on, Meek. Come on.
I refuse to believe Meek is that clueless.
He might not have seen that at the time. He might have been still going at 6'9".
I gotta shoot me some bell. Meek's emotional IQ gotta be way higher than that. I refuse to believe he saw what Vanessa Bryant said.
No way.
And then tweeted that. I don't believe that.
Can't even be a possibility.
You know how some comics got great comedic timing?
Mm-hmm.
Meek is the opposite. Meek just pops in at the wrong time, and we end up laughing at him instead of, you know.
Yeah, that was towards
Something
6'9" and some other street stuff. There was no way. Yeah, no way.
I refuse.
But I do feel in this particular situation, Vanessa Bryant's been very vocal, even saying, please don't post anything from the accident, even not wanting anybody from the NBA to do tributes this year, just because she said it just hurts too much. So I kind of feel like mentioning his name, we should know that's gonna not be good either.
Yeah,
right
we knew
now.
it was gonna hurt her feelings, I'm sure. But you know, so many rappers have done things like that before, and they play wordplay, and it sounds dope because they think it's wordplay, but then they don't realize who they affect.
I think we're also forgetting one important thing.
What's that?
The song wasn't supposed to come out, and Meek did record the song, and I have it on very reliable sources that he was told don't put the record out. The record wasn't supposed to come out. It was leaked. So let's be clear on that too as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I would have probably just said that then. And I also feel like, publicly people heard this and it made the rounds, so why not just say, I want to apologize, the song wasn't supposed to come out.
Well,
I thought he did say.
I just think that's just a simple solution.
I thought he did say it was
leaked.
leaked. I think he did say it was leaked.
Now, the only one on that clip that was not defending Meek Mills was Angela Yee, who is a woman. The two males were tripping and fumbling and stumbling over each other just to defend Meek. She's like, no, it couldn't be him. And also, we do that in hip hop. We disrespect people, and it's okay that we do it, right? Because this is hip hop, and we disrespect people in it, right? That's the argument I've heard the entire week, is that in hip hop, supposedly, it's okay to disrespect people. It's not. Just because someone does something, it doesn't mean it's okay. It means they do it. Disrespect is never okay. I don't give a fuck what genre it is. It's not okay. So to excuse what he said as, it's just a thing we do in hip hop, that is just what? No. Just because you say disrespectful things or people say disrespectful things in songs doesn't mean it's the norm. It just means they do that. There's tons of hip hop that's also not that way. We do not hold our own responsible. Doesn't matter what the group. Like, no one's willing to learn because no one's willing to hold their own responsible. If a cop does something wrong, all the cops rally around him. If a teacher does something wrong, all the teachers rally around. Like, everyone just rallies around these terrible people who are doing terrible things. Being a man isn't just being hella prideful and being able to be like, nah, fuck that shit, I do what I want, do what I... Like, no, being a man sometimes is being like, you know what? I fucked up. I'm sorry. That's part of being a man, too. It's part of being a grown-ass adult. So all these people fumbling and bumbling over giving Meek an excuse rather than just keeping him accountable for saying something terrible, for being reactionary, because someone is holding your feet to the fire, because someone's calling you out. You can't be called out by someone. Well, when you do something wrong, sometimes people are gonna call you out. And it's up to us that love him or whatever to keep him accountable. I always hear this thing, and I don't necessarily agree with it, right? Sometimes I've heard black dads say they're hard on their kids because the world is tough. And so they need to train their kid to understand that. I don't understand why you then don't take that same concept when it comes to grown-ass men. For some reason, with grown-ass men, we feel like, oh, we can't, I don't. But if he's a grown-ass man, he should be able to take criticism. You're not going to be able to teach anyone anything. No one's going to learn or evolve if they don't get criticized. When I was a kid, I got in trouble when I did bad things. That taught me then that there's consequences to all my actions, whether it be good or bad. When I did good things, not all the time, but good things tend to happen. When I did bad things, I got punished for it. But I learned because someone told me when I did something wrong. If there wasn't an individual to tell me when I stepped out of line, I would not have been able to evolve or grow as a person. I don't think there's a certain age limit when that cuts off, right? When you can no longer or should no longer be able to grow and evolve as a human. I think it's lazy if we are like, no, he's a grown man, I can't. No, then you're not a true friend. So all his true friends need to tell him that he needs to apologize and stop trying to fumble and bumble and make excuse. So Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen have started a podcast called Renegades, Born in America. Why though? I don't understand. It makes me sad inside because I feel like when I hear, oh my God, Barack Obama's gonna have a podcast, I'm like, oh fucking, I'm there. Boom. All right. Can't wait to hear the gems. With who? Why is this a thing? Who asked for this? That's what I want to know. Who asked for this? Who said, I want Barack Obama with Bruce Springsteen? Who? What individual said that this is where we're going? This is where we want to go? Here. This does not even sound exciting. I know they even there was a clip about Barack punching some dude in the face for calling him a coon, but still, I'm not excited. I'm the opposite of excited. What's the opposite of excited? Bored. I'm bored already just by the concept, and that is a bad thing. You should not be bored by the concept only. Like someone's like, "Hey, but it's kind of like it's kind of like someone's like playing with your balls." I don't know why it's balls. It's like someone's playing with your emotions. Yeah, it's like someone's playing with your emotions, right? They start out Barack Obama starting a podcast. Woo! Barack Obama starting a podcast with he's a person, him and someone else. Ooh, Bruce Springsteen. But why? I feel like there's so many people in this world that would have loved to have a podcast with the first black president of the United States. And out of everyone that they could have chosen, they landed on Bruce Springsteen. Because I'm just confused on the audience that he's trying to attract. Clearly not me. Clearly not me. Maybe he feels like I know too much about him. I don't. But he wanted to attract a wide audience. I didn't say, it sounded like I said a white audience, but I meant a wide. Did I say wide? But both wide and white. And probably that's why they got together, so that might be the answer right there. I hope you're as excited as I am for this podcast. this shit. Christopher Tufton is the health minister of Jamaica, and he is upset with the New York Times. So the infection of COVID-19 cases has risen 210% in Jamaica within the last 28 days. That makes Jamaica second in the world when it comes to increased COVID-19 cases. That, for me, is very sobering news. It's understandable because we have kind of left our island pretty open. The reason I'm talking about this story, though, is because I'm upset with one person in the government in particular. This is what he said on Twitter in response to the information. He says, "This story is incorrect. To characterize this as second worst COVID outbreak in the world is misleading, unfair, and incorrect. The degree to which a COVID-19 outbreak is bad ought to take the death and total case rates in consideration." For me, the tweet doesn't make any sense because clearly they're not trying to measure the degree in which COVID-19 outbreak is bad, but the rate that it's increasing. Not good or bad, sir, but how many people are getting it. Not how many people are dying from it, but how many people are getting it. It's either you're trying to cloudy the water, right, or you're incompetent. It has to be one of those. Because the study says rate of increase in COVID-19 cases. That's the title of the information that's being given to you. Like this number, 210% within the last 28 days. That's showing the increase, the uptake of people getting COVID-19. Not the uptake of people dying from COVID-19. Hence, that would be in the fucking title. This is about people getting it. So for you to totally ignore that and go on your whole rant about the degree to which a COVID-19 outbreak is bad ought to take the death in total case rates. Why should it have to take the death in total case rates? If it's measuring the death in total case rates, then yes, it should take into consideration how many people have died. But if it has nothing to do with how many people are dying from the disease, but how many people got the disease within the last 28 days, what the fuck are you talking about? How is this story incorrect?
You might not agree, it's cool, I'm one of a kind.
Yo.
Trying to move forward, so I gotta be progressive. Gotta make sure everything I say is selective. It's only my opinion.